The Tenta Missiles, one of the three horsemen of the apocalypse. The pinnacle of Splatoon 2's failed special design as infinite range, it actually rewards being as far away and uninvolved from combat as possible. Exactly what you don't want when designing any fighting game. However, there was a time when it was just a gimmicky piece of trash. So how did it get to the hated special known today? Released with the launch of Splatoon 2, Tenta Missiles were the pseudo-replacement for Ink Strike. They could be fired from any range. You could actually lock onto targets easier the farther away you were from the enemy team. Along with being a powerful special, it actually gave you total intel on the enemy team positions for its entire duration, almost like an echolocator. While this is still true today to a lesser extent, to get the maximum effectiveness you had to hit all 4 people, as no matter how many were in the reticle, only 4 missiles would fire per person, no matter what. Furthermore, you could not swim with Tenta Missiles active, making you far more vulnerable with them out. This made them actually quite underwhelming at the game's launch. Easily punishable and with a wide margin for error, many people straight up called them a gimmick. Because of this, the 1.4.0 patch increased damage to ballers by 50%, heightening the displacement ability of the missiles. Ballers now had to move much more than they used to if they wanted to avoid their ball being broken. Then, in 2.0.0, the time between each missile firing decreased depending on how many targets were locked. These are some small buffs, but Tenta Missiles still weren't the beast that they're thought of as today. Modern Tenta Missiles would come in the 3.2.0 patch. This patch made 10 missiles fire when locked onto a single target, and 5 per target when locked onto 2, making failure to hit all 4 players far less punishing. Special power-up increased the radius of turf inked by the missiles now, and Tenta Missiles would be able to lock onto the Rainmaker, though their damage to the Rainmaker shield was decreased by 50%. Still, these buffs would put Tenta Missiles into prominence as a powerful special that can be spammed quickly and always has great effectiveness. Many playstyles and weapons would revolve around just getting Tenta Missiles out as much as possible, and special charge-up became important to have. Screenshots would float around of people who had 20 specials per game. This is total madness, so Nintendo did what was only right. They buffed Tenta Missiles! In 4.1.0, they shortened the time between firing each missile to just 4 frames, no matter how many targets were locked. Then in 4.3.0, they buffed Special Power-Up's abilities even further. The final change to Tenta Missiles would come in the 4.4.0 patch, where the lag frames after shooting Tenta Missiles decreased by 15 frames. The Tenta Missiles would see no further changes and would be the bane of any player's existence. It simply was not healthy for the game to have players not fighting and just charging the special with infinite range and spamability. Tenta Missiles contributed massively to the decline of the meta at the end of Splatoon 2 as everything began to revolve around Tenta Missiles, Ink Armor, and shooters. This is unfortunate as Tenta Missiles had great potential to be an interesting replacement for Ink Strike, but its poor design would make it hated among the Splatoon community, and rightfully so. Fortunately, Splatoon 3 would be a chance to fix things. Reactions to Tenta Missiles being in Splatoon 3 were very poor, with many loathing the inclusion. However, some necessary changes would massively improve the special from a design standpoint. Firstly, there are more movement options available in Splatoon 3 than ever before. Thus, it is far easier now to dodge the missiles being shot at you. Secondly, the base points per special was increased to 200, meaning that most weapons take more paint to get their special, leading to less spamability with Tenta Missiles. However, most exciting of all came in the Chill Season update. The gauge to fire the Tenta Missiles will still go down even after they are fired. During this time, it is impossible to charge special, meaning that Tenta Missiles' spamability massively decreased. Though there are still many problems with the design, it isn't abhorrent and doesn't ruin games anymore. It is a balanced special on par with many others, and no longer suffers from the same severe hate that it used to. Furthermore, there are two other specials in Splatoon 3 that function with a similar role to Tenta Missiles, Killer Whale 5.1 and Triple Ink Strike. Both offer the same displacement ability and have their own positives and negatives, leading to Tenta Missiles being used less as other specials can be used in its place. Thus, Tenta Missiles Rest Today is a more balanced special that still has a lot of problems, and I personally would like to see a rework of. However, they're nothing like they used to be, and are just far more fun to play with. Thank you for watching the video so much. Please like and subscribe. Trying to get to 500 subscribers. I think we can do it pretty soon. Maybe even with this video. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day.